Hello, hello. Welcome back to my channel. It's your girl, KingMo. Wait, hold on. Am I live? I think I am. I should be. Hello, hello. Where's my chat? Why can't I see my chat? Why can't I see my chat? Where my people at? Mic check, mic check. Let's see. It's been a while since I've gone live. Hello, hello, guys. I wonder if anybody is going to come in. Let's see. I'm not going to be on here long, but I have something I want to say. And I wanted to come on the tube to say it. But now I can't see my my chat. It's usually on the side. All right. I'm just going to go in and start talking. All right, y'all. It's your girl, KingMo. Welcome back to my channel. This is Glow with Mo. It's been a while since I went live. But I have been posting. I have been posting here and there, but I've been posting a little bit of like fashion content, you know, haul, stuff like that. You'll see that. I told you guys I will be posting that, so I kept my word. I have some other thumbnails that I'm going to be posting as well. I appreciate everybody who has continued to support me and following and doing all that good stuff. And I love you guys. I love you guys. Make sure that you follow me on TikTok and on Twitch. I go live there all the time as well. So if you don't see me on here and you're looking for me, I'm usually on TikTok. I have stuff there and I have stuff on Twitch as well. So check your girl out on those platforms as well, darling. Okay. All right. So let's get into what I want to talk about today. The village. The village. This is what I'm calling this specific. I was thinking about it. I went running this morning and I was thinking about it because I hear a lot of people saying that they don't have community. They're always talking about community. They're always talking about this village, right? And I just want to talk about that a little bit because I know parents talk about it. I know we talk about with grandparents, you know, grandparents not being grandparents and all that stuff. And we talk about people not helping people. And I hear a lot of people always talking about it from that perspective. Like, you know, we don't have people helping people. We don't have people helping people. People are not, you know, generous. People are not, you know, reaching out. People are not, it takes a village to raise these kids. You know, I even say that all the time. It takes a village to raise these kids, you know, and we're not seeing it. And I think that what we also need to talk about is it from the other side. Looking at it from the other side as well. And I don't really hear too many people talking about that. It from the other side. And one thing I wanted to talk about, I don't know why I can't see my chat at all. So I'm just going to pull it up on YouTube on too many people. I'm going to just pull it up on here. Hold on. So I can see it over here. We're just going to work with what we work with. Okay. Okay. So anyways, back to what I was saying. We're always talking about, okay. So what I was saying was we're always talking about the village and all that stuff. And we're always talking about people not helping out, but there are people who help out. There are people who are generous, who are more than willing to be that village for people. And a lot of times when we have these people who do these things, they get burnt out. And a lot of times I think that sometimes it becomes unfair, to these people, because sometimes you get in a state where you start talking about, I'm seeing people. So what I've been hearing, what I've been seeing when people are talking about these situations or their complaints is like, well, people take advantage, or the village is tired. Those types of things, right? The village is tired. The village felt like they were being used. You know what I mean? The village wasn't getting anything back. And that's an important conversation that we also need to have. When we're creating community, when we're creating village, what does that look like? What does one hand washing the other look like? What does it takes a village to raise a child look like? Right? What does it look like me helping you, maybe me taking care, maybe you needing help, me saying, okay, bring your kids here this weekend. What does that look like? How can I help you and you help me? And us help each other. Not saying that it's tit for tat. Not saying that we're keeping score. But what does that look like where we both feel like we are being fulfilled in this relationship, where it doesn't always look like I'm doing and you are taking? Right? And I'm not just saying for parents. I'm not saying that either. Even from a grandparent's perspective, right? Because what we're seeing too, and what grandparents are saying, is that in reality, a lot of grandparents are still working. A lot of grandparents are still working now. That's the reality of it. So when we are putting these expectations on our elders, what does that look like? And how are we pouring back into them? How are we making their lives easier? Because village is, when we're talking about village, it's about making each other's lives easier. It's not about just making one person's life easier. It's not about just helping one person's life. It's about a well-oiled machine where everybody's life is being helped out in some kind of way. I help you, you help me. It's not that we're keeping score. That's not what I'm saying. But that we're helping each other in order to keep our lives afloat. And somewhere along the lines, when we have been trying to maintain community, it seems as though we have started to fall, that has fallen through the cracks, right? And so what happens is now you have people, that you don't want to get into that situation where you have to remind a person, well, I've done this for you. I've done that for you. I've been there for you through this, through that, because, every time you are a person that gives, people tell you never to do that, because then they think that you're giving with motive, right? So they tell you, when you're a person that is a giver, if you remind a person what you've done for them, now you are giving with intention, right? So you can't remind a person. And I think once you get to a point where you have to remind a person what you've done for them, you need to step back from that person. When you get to the point where you have to remind a person, well, I've done this, I've done that, and you feel like you have to, when you get to that point where you have to do all of that, you need to step back from that person. You're overgiving. You're overgiving. That is a clean indicator in my book that you are overgiving. Okay? Because sometimes I think it is a little unfair to tell somebody, you shouldn't remind a person. I'm not saying that you should be keeping score, but it does get very frustrating to have somebody in your face that's very ungrateful. Now, I'm not saying that this is the same type of person that you never ask them for anything, and the one time you ask them for something, they throw it back in your face. That's a different type of scenario. That's a different type of situation. But there are people out there who are ungrateful, and that you need to step back from those types of people who will look you in your face as if you've never done anything for them, and that you weren't there for them, that you weren't a support system for them. And yeah, you need to step back from those types of people. But I do think that sometimes it is unfair to tell a person, that you had some type of intention or ill intention when you get to the point of frustration and you're like, well, I've been there for you. I think that sometimes you are in the right to you are valid in your frustration. I would say that you are valid in your frustration. Sometimes it's a little bit of what we call gaslighting a person to say that you had intention, or you was expecting something in return. No, that's not necessarily what that was. But I wasn't expecting you to be a piece of shit either. You know what I mean? I wasn't expecting that. I was expecting us to be a village. Yeah, that's what I was expecting. Of course. I was giving out of the goodness of my heart, but I wasn't expecting you to be a piece of shit. I gave with the goodness of my heart with the intention that we are a village up for each other. Right? That's a specific type of situation. I'm not talking about people who, sometimes, every once in a blue moon, you've asked somebody for something, and then now they're throwing it in your face, or they're dangling it over your head, and they're being outrageous about it. Those people, you gotta leave them where they're at. Never ask them for something again. That's how I am. I'll never ask you for something again. I'm not talking about those people. But we do have to examine village and community, because what we're suffering with is that we don't have community right now. A lot of people are saying that they don't have community. But then when we start talking about community, when people are saying, well, I was community, I was village, but I was being taken advantage of. We have to start thinking about, what does village look like, and what does that entail? And am I a good person in village? Do I show up for people as well? Or is it always about me? Is it always about you taking my children? There's some people that will always ask everybody else to babysit their children. They will never babysit anybody else's child. There's some people that will drop off all their kids and you got kids under a certain age and won't drop off any milk. You know that your children need milk. You might want to drop off some milk if your kid is that age. It's consideration. You don't know what that person's financial situation is, right? I'm not saying you have to, it's tit for tat, or we have to pay each other, or nothing of that sort, but it's consideration. It goes a long way. Yeah, you can bring your kids over. Of course. And you bring them over and you say, oh, I got a little bit of snack, blah, 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 whatever. That's consideration. I might have it, but you just bringing over a little bit of something is consideration. Now we're village. Now I got you, because I know that you got me and you considered me and my finances and my home when you came over. You didn't just come over and drop off. You considered my home. That's village. Village is also taking care of the older people. It's not always about the older people just taking care of the younger people. Village is also taking care of the single people. Somehow that got dismissed. Somehow that became where it wasn't important. That single people's time was not valued. And that single people didn't need assistance. Because they're child free. It takes a village to live. And so we have to start pouring back into each other, right? You know what I mean? Parent to parent, adult to adult. Because people are starting to not want to have community because everybody's starting to feel used. And so we have to look at the concept of community and how are we disrespecting each other's spaces. Because at one point we were operating in a communal space. It was working. We had it. We were doing it with less, with more, with less. So something's going on where we have to get back to one, and I know that it's hard. It's hard because it's very expensive to live right now. And that's an even bigger reason why we have to address what we are defining as what the village is and what community is and how we can take care of each other and what that looks like. We have to address the crabs in the barrel mentality as well. We have to address the consumerism in our community, the crabs in the barrel mentality. Just because you think somebody's living better than you doesn't mean that they are living better than you. So if they're helping you, that means that you extend that help back. That means one hand washes the other. That is community. That is how you maintain the integrity of community. You don't just take, and because you think that somebody is living better than you, you do not give back. You don't extend your love and your support back to that next person. And I think that that's what sometimes happens, you know? And so then you have people who may have, gotten to a point where they've established themselves where they do not want to help certain people because of being used. Right? Because even if I've made it to a certain point doesn't mean that I don't still need community. Doesn't mean that I don't still need village. It doesn't. But if we still continue to have a crabs in the barrel mentality, nobody's going to have village. If we're pocket watching each other, and we're not looking at each other as human beings. Everyone needs village. Everyone needs help. No matter what level you're at. And so we have to look back at what is going on in community, because everybody's saying that they're alone and everybody is struggling when it comes to community. And right now, people are struggling. People are struggling. Because a lot of us are focused on the wrong things. A lot of us is focused on each other's pockets. A lot of us is focused on things that has nothing to do with what we need to. We need to just come together and learn how to wash each other's hands. Well, I don't have anything, KingMo. I don't have nothing to give. This is community has been around, village has been around for a long time. We didn't have nothing to give for a long time. People brought by pies, handmade. Kindness goes a long way. Hello. A lot of people need acts of kindness. Everybody's walking around so paranoid. So when we're talking about people not having village, we have to start to dissect the reasons why. We really do. And so that's what I was thinking about. I was on my run today and I was thinking about village, because a lot of people are complaining about it, but people are not thinking about, and a lot of people are saying that they're burnt out, the village is burnt out. And so we have to look at the selfishness. The community in village, that means that there's going to be different people in the villages at different levels. And so if I'm at a different level than you, and I don't and we're at different levels, and I help you, and you don't think because I'm at this level in my career, and you might be here still trying to make it, and you don't think and I try to help you, right? And then you turn around and you don't think that it's one hand washes the other, so you're just taking from me, and you don't ever think that it's a village thing. You're like, well, she got it. No, it's a village thing. You may not be able to give to me to a certain level that I can give to you, but you can still be a village to me as well. You don't always have to come around me and just take. Right? Your grandparents don't always have to the grandparents don't always have to be just a source of babysitting. Right? Or the aunties, the single people, or whatever. You're looking at a parent, maybe you sit there and you say, hey, it looks like she needs a night off, he needs a night off. Offer that to that person. I'll take your kids, I got you. And when we start creating community again, people will start trusting each other enough to even allow people to even trust people, to even have them to even bring their kids to their house. Because that's another thing that they were saying. People don't even trust people to take care of their kids anymore because, like I said, community and giving to people, right? You say, I don't have anything. An act of kindness can create community. The morale is down. Integrity is down. We have to start building it back up. You know? And I'm talking to myself too, getting to know your neighbors again. Right? All of those types of things. Knowing what's going on in your community. Keeping your community clean. Looking out for the single women in the community. Making sure they're good. Looking out for, you get what I'm saying? These are the things that we have to start doing. Village. We have to start rebuilding village because we've gotten so far from village because of the consumerism. Such fast pace, instant gratification that we have lost sight of us being humans, that we're all like, we need help. But it's not all about I all the time. You have to give back. You can't just take. You can't just drop off. You have to think about the other person. So, that's what I wanted to say today, guys. I just wanted to come in and talk about that a little bit because, you know, that was on my heart. I've been hearing a lot about community and village and people feeling like, you know, they don't have one. You know what I mean? And I feel like we really need it, and especially during these times when, you know, we had a change in January and things are out of whack right now. And even what I tell my students all the time, and we talk about friendships and stuff like that, and they say, you know, she's not a good friend, and you have to go back and look at yourself. Are you a good friend as well? You know, you talk about community and you don't have a community. Are you good community? And we have to look at ourselves too. Are you good community? And if you are, you know what I mean, and you don't have good community around you, you know, keep, you know, hold on to hope, right? And don't overextend yourself to people who are not who don't extend themselves back. Remember what I said in the beginning. If you feel like you have to constantly keep telling people what you have done for them, you need to step back. You're overgiving. Right? But community and village feels like you are also being thought of in the matter. That your life and your needs are also being thought of in the process. It's not tit for tat. It's not scorekeeping. That's not what I'm saying. But it's also being thought of. It's being considered. Okay? So it takes time. It's not easy. Right now, a lot of people are overstimulated. And burnt out. So a lot of people don't want to do too much talking and all that stuff. And a lot of people are isolated and want to be to themselves. I get it. I don't do too much texting and talking too much either. But we do have to create communities to some extent because a lot of people need it. You know, even if it's just starting off by waving to your neighbors. Wave to your neighbor. Starting off that simple, just a simple act of kindness. Simple. You see somebody, you go to the grocery store, the same grocery store all the time. You see somebody, you see the same person, the same clerk or whatever it is. Start to speak. Start to say hello, good morning. How you doing? Start to speak. And that's different, you know, especially up north. It's different up north. You don't really say certain things like that, but you could say hello, what's up, head nod. You know what I mean? Head nod. So a little something like that. But we have to start acknowledging each other, because village is very important. So first, you got to check yourself as always. Are you a good villager? Do you consider other people, or is your situation the most important? Do you impose on everybody else? Do you dismiss everybody else's situation? And then look around you and see who's your village. And if you don't have one, don't feel bad. A lot of people don't have one right now. A lot of people don't have community right now, and it's struggling, and we have to get back to that. So that's why I wanted to talk about it. Stay encouraged, y'all. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. Like, share, subscribe. Hit the notification button, all right? Hit the notification button. Now! I'm just joking, okay? Love you guys long time. Bye.